The Big Mac is a hamburger sold by the corporate monstrosity that is known as McDonald's. Introduced in 1967, the Big Mac is McDonald's flagship product known across the world. It contains 2 beef patties, cheese, shredded lettuce, pickles, minced onions, special sauce on a 3-slice sesame bun. But the ingredients I just listed are incomplete because in the United States, it requires 54 ingredients to produce, and this is how they do it, and this is how we reacted.
Are you shitting me?
Before I go on with today's episode, I do want to give a special shout out to my amazing patron, Ian Goki. Thank you so much for your continued support. And with that said, on to the reaction. So last week, I tortured you a little bit with Jamie Oliver's lasagna. Remember that abomination?
Yeah. It was a double insult.
Yeah, yes, it was a double insult. Yeah.
There were peas.
Yeah, there were peas, which I didn't know that there were peas in there. Okay, well, I've been doing these double feature videos lately, and I still treated you to a good lasagna. So, it was okay. Remember Joshua Wiseman's lasagna?
I thought you meant for dinner.
So we've been doing these segments at the end of these videos now where basically we go have a good version of whatever terrible reaction we just watched.
And we ate just a bad one.
Yes, and then we ended up eating a bad lasagna, which sucked. But we ended up finding a good lasagna a couple days later. Well, today I can tell you for sure the burger that we're gonna eat today. Oh damn, I gave it away. Yes. Today we're reacting to something completely different, someone new. We are reacting to Cowboy Kent Rollins.
Oh, I know Cowboy Kent.
Yeah. Today, we watch him make a cowboy-style Big Mac. This should be interesting.
Can't be bad.
Hey folks, we're taking an iconic fast food burger, the Big Mac, to a whole different level cowboy style.
Okay.
More meat,
I already like
special
this.
sauce, and on the grill. Hey, come on. I'll get the fire hot for you.
That's a big boy burger.
That was an intro, just to the point,
Yeah.
more of a Frenchy style intro versus a Brian style
Yeah,
intro.
but look at him. He's,
When I first started having Big Macs was like early 90s.
I just remember them being big.
I remember them being big, and I remember them being delicious.
Yeah.
I remember you used to have to fight the burger to eat it a little bit, right? It's not just me. What should the audience do right now, Frenchie?
Subscribe.
Yes.
And remind.
Yeah.
And
leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
Yes, very good.
Even a negative comment.
Yes. They should also check out our new podcast. Well, it's not new anymore. They should check out our podcast.
Check out the podcast.
It's called So You Want to Get Fat.
So You Want to
And
Get
we
Fat.
dive deeper into the food world.
First thing we're going to look at is sesame seed bun. Who doesn't like a sesame seed bun? I really do. And they got that special sauce. But look here, toasted bun. We're going to do that. Now, this is a little thing that we may have to change. This is called a patty of meat. They claim it weighs 1/8 of a pound, but I did some research. That's 2 ounces. So if you're talking about 2 of them and you do the math, help me out here, Andy, because I know you will. That's 4 ounces. That's still ain't a half a pound.
You're allowed to say before it's cooked.
Before it's cooked. Wait before it's cooked. Oftentimes, when you see weight on a menu, it's before it's cooked. And also, I want to mention, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is factual.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to tell you what the weight of meat is going to be after cooking because it'll vary based on doneness,
Fat content.
quality. It varies greatly. Even seasonality.
And the temp you asked for.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah. Yep.
Not getting your money's worth.
Yeah, I said that earlier, but obviously you don't listen to me.
In this show?
Yeah, like 5 seconds ago. Let's keep moving on.
Lettuce, onions, some pickles. But folks, we have jazzed their special sauce up. Me and the Big put a lot of hours of research into what McDonald's puts in theirs, and we have changed it just a little.
Okay, here's his special sauce.
Mayo, relish, sweet relish, mustard, adobo sauce. Interesting. Apple cider vinegar, sugar, garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, white onion chopped. I wasn't expecting the adobo sauce, but I love adobo.
I don't think I've ever made a special sauce.
But you have a special sauce.
I got the ding dong sauce.
That's not available to the public. Oh my God, that sounds terrible.
Folks, let's talk about 2 patties.
Woo,
Now,
those are 2
patties.
6-ounce patties?
2 patties of meat.
No, that's more. Those
Shannon was
look
telling
8
me when I
almost.
was putting all this together, you think you can get that eat? Oh, I can get this eat. This is 80/20 certified Angus beef, and we're going to start with, what is this? A half, a pound, and a...
It is 8 ounces.
It's an 8 ounces.
He's giving you a pound of burger, literally 4 times the amount of meat than McDonald's.
Sure, we're going to have a little shrinkage, but not that much. And when you season a burger that you're going to cook on the grill, do it when you get it ready to throw on the grill. Don't be doing it before, because if it's a processed meat, you're going to dry that meat out by doing that if you season it.
It'll sweat.
And then
The salt will make it sweat.
That's what salt does to anything. It will cause things to shrivel out.
That's how you cure
draw
salmon
out.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Cure a person.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
They've done that.
Let's lay that first one on there.
Yes.
And there went something in the Oklahoma breeze. Lay that other one on there. Now, I'm going to cheat this a little. You don't have to at times, but hey, we're going to cook these 3.5 to 4 minutes aside. But I'm going to trap a little of that heat in there. Make them cook just a little bit faster. So, let's talk about a few grilling tips we got going on here. First of all, make sure that grill is
Super hot.
Super hot, but also, I don't know about you. I can watch this dude forever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just chilling.
Yeah. A lot of people want to get a bang for their bucks and they want a big, thick burger.
Yeah,
I kind of not leaning that way.
yeah, I agree.
I need equal portion
Yeah,
bread and meat.
yes, I agree. I'm right there with you.
And as my dear, long ago passed away friend Mazursky used to say, you should be able to hold a burger with one hand.
I like thinner patties. I like, if you are going to go more meat, I want more thinner patties, because often you will put cheese on each patty and then you have meat, cheese. So then you have a lot of fat in between everything. And yes.
But you're not getting a temp.
Not getting a temp. Yes.
So that's
that is
just cooked all the way
yeah.
through it. Like
Yes.
that's why smash burgers are popular.
Yes.
Because
yes.
you get so much flavor.
You get so much flavor. There's so much caramelization. There's all that crispy texture. But my favorite burger in the world is your French onion soup burger, and yours is a classic.
And that goes against what I just said. It's a big size burger. It's a 6 ounce burger. It's a little bit smaller than this, right? But the ratio is there, right?
Yeah. I think what you're talking about with the one-hander burger is like a classic American style burger.
I think so.
Yes. Your burger is not classic.
No.
It's made with an English muffin. We're going to show B-roll because we're going to go downstairs and film it soon. Ooh. Number one, it's made on a English muffin, ironically, just considering how much you talk the English. But
English muffins are not English.
Oh.
It's a New York creation.
It's a New York creation,
That's
like
why
fortune cookies.
That's why I went with it, because it was actually, it come from that neighborhood.
Don't they call them crumpets?
Yep.
Yeah, crumpets.
But it's a New York recipe.
Oh, okay.
Well, we've been on about 4 this side we have, and I want to show you something. You can see with that
And you
lid
see,
shut.
he didn't touch him. He's not fooling around with it. He's not squeezing him, pushing him, trying to just put him in and forgot about it, timed it, and now all he's gonna do is turn it around. Because if you touch it too soon, it'll fall apart.
I think we can go
See?
ahead and do
No
this
problem.
right here and look. It is pretty
a little
close
bit more,
to what I'm
but
after.
it didn't fall apart, right?
Yeah.
Now remember, if you was doing this in the house and you was doing it at McDonald's,
If you was doing this, is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
That's so Southern, right?
Yeah.
I love.
you can check that burger, you can flip it, you ain't gonna hurt it. Just remember, don't mash it. I need to look at it, so what am I gonna do? I'm gonna flip it. We are getting oh so close. If I can see it for the smoke. But don't be afraid to flip that burger, but don't flip it out there in the ocean somewhere.
Don't flip it the first time till it's ready.
Well, for the reasons you said, it will fall apart if you flip it prematurely.
It'll rip apart.
It'll break apart because it is ground meat. This is not one solid mass of meat. It's been ground and formed into a patty. And when you start to warm up this meat, it renders out the fat. And when it renders out the fat, it actually makes those granules of meat. It acts like a lubricant. You need to give that that meat an opportunity to actually glue together into a burger.
I'm gonna take them, set them right over here where they ain't hardly no coals.
Oh no, this is going to be dry.
So let's get them on this grill. We're gonna give them a little toasting, but also they're gonna get a little smoke flavoring.
Ooh, a little
at
butter.
the same time.
You put butter
It
on
won't
them.
take long, as hot as that is. But remember that one that's cut on both sides, we got to toast him on both sides. Well,
Yeah, you
we
could
got
toast
them all
that bottom
cooked
one
up.
on the
We
other
got our
side,
little
too.
buns nicely toasted, we did. And folks, this is where it comes to the assembly line.
Oh, he's got cheddar slices.
I've never liked cheddar on a burger.
Never. No.
What is next? Some finely chopped lettuce. Yep, just like the Big Mac. So we just scatter them out right peaceful like. And one thing I would have done different if it was me, I'd have put the cheese on maybe the bottom, but no.
Technically, you should be melting the cheese on the
burger,
the burger, right?
But, you know, McDonald's doesn't do that.
Right.
Specifically more for a logistical reason. It takes more time.
Yeah.
And there's more margin, there's more room for error. If they just put the cold cheese onto the bun,
steaming will melt it.
The carryover warmth from that patty after they close the box, the hope is that the cheese will melt by then. I can tell you in all the recent times I've had McDonald's, not by choice, the cheese is never melted.
So we are ready to go ahead with the middle bun. That is the one that we cut the top off of the top bun. So we got to have some more of that there special sauce to get ready to go back here.
It's got such good energy. Makes me happy.
Make sure you got plenty.
I would have put a dollop between the burger
and the bottom slice.
and bottom.
And then
Well,
guess
wait,
what?
did he forget a slice of cheese? Oh wait, he put it
Yeah,
on
put
below.
the bottom.
He put it below it.
Yeah. Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Well, I mean, it's looking good so far.
It looks
but
good.
Yeah.
That they don't call for it. But
Personal
old Kent's gonna
preference.
put it on there, you know. That is some extra piece of cheese. And then you got 2 left for the cheese inspectors. There you go. So you can see we have nearly got there. It is time for what? That is what you call a burger, folks, and we're nearly there.
Jesus Christ.
Then we're gonna go ahead and take us some more of that special sauce right here on the top.
And pickles.
And we're gonna have to have some pickles.
And pickles.
Because she do love a pickle. Now me, I would not be putting a pickle on it, but hey, we're trying to keep it authentic.
Oh, you already f***ed up with those burger patties.
Yeah.
But did he really?
It's still better than the other one.
Oh my goodness.
This is a Big Mac, McDonald's style. This is a Big Mac Cowboy style.
Cowboy
You gotta have a
style.
muscle to hold this one up. Now,
Hell yeah.
I want to tell you, when you make that sauce, and it does make extra, folks, you're going to love this stuff. Just go ahead and seal it back up. Put it on your sandwiches, your hot dogs, more burgers. Dip your French fries in it, whatever you got to do. But it is going to be some fine dining. I would like to do this, I would. And I think we should take a peek in there. And then we're going to do this.
Listen,
It's a little overdone.
We have the benefit of practice and
Yeah.
doing this a billion times.
However, straight up, we love Cowboy Kent.
Yep.
Those burger patties, they're overcooked, especially for a patty that thick. All right? We're not a fan of the cheddar cheese. We would have preferred American. Fundamentally, this burger is a gajillion times better than anything McDonald's has served in the last 2 decades. Okay, so
Definitely.
let's make that very clear. For me personally, the burger patties for this type of burger he's making, burger patties are a little too thick. I think he would have been fine with 2 4-ounce patties.
Yes.
Personally, I do agree with you that when he put the burgers to the side of the grill and was assembling everything, it overcooked it. But also, this is one thing that makes food content creation hard, because you have to focus not only on the cooking, but you also have to time everything with the camera angles, with the assembly. You know, when we're making stuff in the kitchens professionally,
Yeah, we screw up too.
We screw up too, but we have none of this to worry about. You know, we have nothing stopping us from our assembly other than ourselves or our other teammates.
Your Big Mac's too
We're
big.
going to do the Ronald McDonald Shuffle.
What is that? That's Ronald McDonald Shuffle.
Aha.
And this was a great video. I like Kent Rollins, man. I like his vibe. You know, this is a no bullshit, you know, even if there were things we didn't agree with, he's one of the good things on the internet.
Yes.
Do you know what's actually in a real American Big Mac?
Why did you say American? Oh, because other countries don't do it the same way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because the Mickey D's in France, they have to use local meat. So the quality is always so much better.
Or let me ask you this. How many ingredients should be in a Big Mac?
The ingredients for the bun,
Mm-hmm.
the ingredients for the meat, the sauce. I mean,
Well, the American Big Mac has 54 ingredients. Did you know that? And we're gonna watch.
and how much of them are edible?
Business Insider shows us how an American Big Mac is made.
Is this the guy from
This
Subway?
is a Big Mac. And this is everything that's in a Big Mac.
Is he working for McDonald's?
No, he's a scientist. This is everything that's in a Big Mac.
Okay.
Egg yolks, bread flour, datum, potassium sorbate, polysorbate 80, calcium chloride, citric acid.
You know, this is
xanthan
why I stopped doing the French kiss dressing. When they were starting to add all this stuff,
Yeah.
and then I did a batch, and I was like, ugh, that's it.
His French kiss dressing being a sauce that Frenchy was going to try to release nationwide.
No, it was not a sauce. It was a dressing.
Oh, a dressing. Okay, a dressing. Why is there a hoist? A
hoist?
Why is there a horse on soybean oil?
Oh, hoisy's a hoist, of course. Unless you're the wonderful Mr. Ed Wilbur.
What I love about this show is that it combines all the things I love about making Food Wars, and also I do literally nothing.
He sounds like he's related to you.
Where's his Asian co-host?
This is potassium aluminium sulfate, and it's primarily used in things like leather tanning, in dyeing, and in fireproofing textiles. It's pretty strong stuff. For example, if you boil some of this, it can actually dissolve steel in just a few hours.
Okay, we're one chemical in, and already we're talking about dissolving steel.
This sounds like you too, like the Gordon Cubano episode. It's like, one ingredient is overcomplicated. One ingredient.
I like this guy.
No.
I like this guy.
Harry, please be careful. Put on some gloves, for God's sakes.
This one right here is soy lecithin.
Oh my God, this is you
This
and
is
me.
you and me.
They had
In another universe.
They had to put that other dude for the comedic effect and relief, because just like me and my long-winded explanations, they needed someone to break it apart. Do you realize? You are absolutely right.
Yeah,
this is us in
this
an
is
alternate
us.
universe. This is not an alternate universe. This is this universe.
It's a lubricant and an emulsifier. It's considered safe for consumption, but there have been some preliminary studies to suggest that overconsumption may promote depression, which is kind of the last thing I need.
Aww.
What do you mean by emulsifier?
Okay, this is a little too close to home now.
I know, it's a little weird.
Oh,
It's a
no.
little weird. What's an emulsion, Frenchie?
Oh, I know. You mix things together. Combine them.
Yes, it to make two or more ingredients one.
In the Big Mac, it's used in the cheese and the sauce, just to kind of help everything stay together. And finally, we have polysorbate 80, otherwise known as polyoxyethylene sorbitan.
Jesus Christ, where's the food? Where's the food?
There is no food.
It's probably our most controversial chemical here. Studies have shown that it can lead to an increase in colon cancer and infertility in mice. It's not a guarantee to say that it will do the same to humans, but it's probably not the best sign.
Pasteurized American cheese. Ingredients are milk, cream, water, sodium citrate, salt, cheese cultures, citric acid, enzymes, soy lecithin, and colors added. Get a load of this guy right here.
This one's a little tricky. We don't have an exact recipe for the pasteurized processed American cheese, which McDonald's uses in the States.
We could make American slices with just the 3 first ingredients.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically like a super thick bechamel.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe a little gelatin to stabilize it if you wanted to.
Depending on the cheese.
Yeah. Oh, depending on the cheese, you're
Depending on
absolutely
the
right.
cheese, that's all.
Yeah, true
The
that.
cheese has everything you need.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yes.
Now, to meet the legal definition of American cheese, it must be made of cheddar, Colby, granular, or washed curd cheese. We're choosing to go with a mild cheddar because it already kind of tastes similar to the Big Mac cheeses that I've had in the past. From the ingredients list, we can see the ones that belong to the cheese and the ones which are added at a later
Yeah, milk, cream, water. Yeah.
stage. The cheese itself is basically just made of milk, salt, cultures, and enzymes, whereas later on you will add the sodium citrate as an emulsifying agent, the citric acid as an acidifying agent, and the soy lecithin as an anti-sticking agent. The FDA requirements also specify how much of each of these you're allowed to have in the finished cheese. For example, we know that the soy lecithin can only be 0.03% of the finished weight.
You should totally be wearing a mask.
The chemicals have changed the consistency of the cheese almost immediately. It's gone from what was a very liquidy melted cheddar with some cream in it to like a very shiny looking.
Notice that he's doing this on what's called a double boiler. So he's got a pot with water in it, that's being heated, and that steam is what's heating that bowl. It's a much more consistent and
Safe.
consistent and gentle heat. You'll have a lot less chance of anything burning, curdling, breaking.
Almost like a squeezy cheese. And last but not least, the color.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Let's go.
Gotta tell you.
Looks like Velveeta.
Yeah.
So in a relatively short space of time, we've turned this cheddar, which is quite a firm, inflexible, very pale cheese, into this classic American cheese. It's amazing how little sodium citrate it took and how quickly the change took effect. Honestly, it was a tiny amount, and as soon as it was sprinkled in, it made a whole world of difference.
Oh, even
The
the
pickle
pickles
slices
are
at an American
Well, the
McDonald's
brine.
contain cucumbers, water, distilled vinegar, salt, calcium chloride,
Okay.
Stop at the salt.
Yep, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
potassium sorbate as a preservative, natural flavors, polysorbate 80, extractives of turmeric for color. Ugh.
The cheese fell.
Calcium chloride can lead
Yes.
to burns in the mouth and throat, excess thirst, vomiting, stomach pain, and low blood pressure. So I'm gonna put some gloves on.
Dude, you should be protecting your face.
Alum is one that we've mentioned before, and apparently this improves the crunchiness of pickles.
Whoa, that's to increase the crunchiness of the pickles, because that shit's gonna be sitting in there for so long as it's being shipped across the country. Wow.
Potassium sorbate, as it says on the label, is a mold inhibitor, which will give the pickles a longer shelf life. And finally, we have polysorbate 80. Now this is an emulsifier which will thicken liquids. However, it is also the one that gives mice cancer.
Oh, God.
Still quite lumpy.
Oof.
The Big Mac bun in the US contains the following ingredients: enriched flour, which is malted barley flour, niacin, iron,
Holy shit.
and diglycerides, enzymes, and vinegar.
You know,
Even their flour.
I've worked extensively in bread baking before, and everything, it was like 6 ingredients at most.
This is British white bread flour, which contains wheat flour, calcium carbonate, iron, niacin, and thiamine. So we're missing the malted barley flour, the riboflavin, and the folic acid. None of these are too suspect. Malted barley flour contains enzymes that break down starch to sugar, and riboflavin and folic acid are actually just vitamins B2 and B9.
Make sure you take your vitamins.
So we've got some folic acid and some riboflavin tablets here. It's like a pregnancy supplement. So you're supposed to take them when you're like trying to get
What?
pregnant.
Are you shitting me? Was he kidding, or is
I
he?
think he was for real.
Now that we have a fortified flour, the next few ingredients
Turmeric.
are fairly simple. Water, sugar, yeast, and soybean oil. Now
What was
these might
that
seem
last
fairly
capsule?
normal,
Looked
but we
like
actually had
turmeric.
some difficulty finding soybean
think it
oil
was,
here in the
turmeric.
UK. In the US, apparently it's one of the most common cooking oils,
right there.
but in the UK, it's
you
used for
can you
two
see
things.
it?
No.
Massage oil and as a horse supplement.
Soy oil is a horse supplement?
I need more definition.
Yeah.
You're giving it as a supplement to a horse, or you take it as a supplement instead of eating horse? Which is it? Both are really weird.
I didn't know soy oil was used as a horse
Oh.
supplement.
We looked up soybean oil in the USA and it was a much lighter color than this, so this might not be as refined as the soybean oil that you get in the US, but fingers crossed it should still be edible.
Oh my God.
What?
I just figured it out.
What?
We use soybean oil for oil, but they're using it to give to animals.
Yeah. You're right.
I
Because
just-
they're like, oh, we won't use soybean oil.
We're not
Yeah.
eating this.
Yeah.
We give it to our horses.
Yeah.
The same way in France.
Yeah.
Like whenever you wanted to buy pasta, it was
Yeah.
only at the animal stores. They would feed pasta to like your dog or to animals.
Really?
As a feed. Yeah. Pasta was like feed.
Pasta?
Yeah.
You guys don't eat pasta?
They do now. But
Oh.
like I remember like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Like the only time you saw pasta was like
Right.
I was farmers feeding it to like animals.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys really don't think much of the Italians, huh?
No, we love it, Italians.
You love the Italians, so why are you taking like their
We
number
just
one
don't
food?
like them from 1939 to 45.
Now datum is diacetyl tartaric acid ester of mono and diglycerides.
Oh, cream of tartar?
It's called bread improver. It's literally labeled bread improver.
But is that what we call cream of tartar?
No. Oh, maybe tartaric acid. Maybe.
Now, if you ever wondered how McDonald's gets their buns so kind of soft but also quite springy, this might be the difference maker. It improves the strength of the gluten network.
It's like really soft, right? I know it's not supposed to be that way, but it's kind of like It's got like bounce to it, right?
So that does two things. Number one is, yes, it makes it soft, gives it a better mouthfeel, but a big reason is so that it transports easier, right? Because inevitably these things are going to bounce around.
Also won't dry out.
It won't dry out as fast, but because it bounces back, you don't have to worry about it arriving to its destination with half the product flattened out. Yes, it comes in bread crates and stuff like that, but this is just another measure.
But the weight of itself over time.
Yeah. Actually, yes, that's very true. So the bread at Mission Sandwich, we don't stack more than 4 high because the weight will eventually start to crush the bottom one, and the bottom ones don't spring back.
He's making a dough. He's so happy. He made 2 balls.
So our buns have risen. We're going to put them into some ring molds, top them with sesame seeds, and then bake.
It appears that Harry has raided someone's dorm room and stolen their microwave, hot plate combo.
What? That's cool.
That's cool. I've never seen that here in the States.
Oh, it's more of a miniature convection oven with the hot plate
So
on top,
here's the bun
right?
we made today, and here is a bun we made earlier. Now the differences between these two are that this one has all the chemicals McDonald's uses, whereas this one is literally just water, flour, and yeast. Visually, the one we've made today
sorry,
looks
but
like
we
a
can
much
make
better
that look
color.
good.
It's a nice even golden brown all around. As you see with the one on the left without the chemicals, it's actually got this big tear around the side as well.
Yeah, but
That's also-
that's from it was touching. You trapped it.
No, not only that, if he was forming kneading it by hand on the table, I don't think that created enough gluten development. And when it rose, because if there's not enough gluten development, the dough won't actually stretch as much as it potentially can. That's why you have to really work a dough.
All those chemicals are for shelf life, guys.
Yes. Yeah.
It could be because this one has some chemicals which help the gluten stay strong and withstand the
That's exactly what I was talking about. He saw that indentation didn't spring
expansion
back.
in the oven.
Our American Big Mac sauce contains soybean oil, from before, remember that? Sweet relish, which is diced pickles, sugar, high fructose corn syrup, distilled vinegar, spices,
Jesus.
onion powder, salt, extractives of paprika, and soy lecithin.
I kind of like the soybean oil. We had some real difficulties getting hold of high fructose corn syrup in the UK. It's just really not used at all. We were able to track down some regular corn syrup, but only as a kind of specialty
Korean
imported
brand. So why would Korea have an ingredient that's very common in the US?
I don't know.
Because of the US GI presence in South Korea.
Now, we've already talked about what some of these chemicals do, but we haven't talked about xanthan gum yet. Xanthan gum is a thickener, and I can understand.
Yeah, but it's also a stabilizer, right?
Yeah. So when Frenchy says stabilizer, so you can make an emulsion, but it doesn't mean that the emulsion is stable, right? So an emulsion
Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way.
Right. So an emulsion is the combination of 2 or more ingredients to become one. So something like oil and vinegar technically never emulsifies. If you shake it like crazy, all you're doing is just breaking up the oil globules so small that it looks like it's one, but it's not. And at some point it will separate again. But you put some Dijon in there, then that becomes an emulsifier, not a very strong one. But then you throw in xanthan gum into that mixture, that will emulsify it.
But before doing that, throw in an egg.
Yes, I'm just trying to explain. I was getting to xanthan
Mayo.
gum. Oof.
Harry, my friend, you just invented thick water, which we got here in the States.
Wait, is that real?
So this is for people with swallowing issues. It actually makes it easier. I mean, is it it doesn't...
This exists?
I did not know that exists.
It's like Jell-O.
Oh, that's weird. It's like a gel. Where have you been all my life, thick water?
Ugh.
Oh, dude, you like that too much.
Silky, smooth. Props to the people over at Thicket.
Thicket? Is that cum?
About 100 milliliters of water.
Oh yeah, it is.
Into this.
Oh, dude, I don't want this anymore. Dude, I'm sorry, but
This is for the Big Mac sauce.
So now we've made our sweet relish, but that's just one of the ingredients in the Big Mac sauce. Now we have to make the rest. Now it's worth pointing out a couple of the chemicals in there and noting what they
I
do.
got so
we'll
turned
start
off.
with the propylene glycol alginate. Now this is usually used in the beer making process, and it will also give our sauce a nice glossy finish. As for the hydrolyzed vegetable protein, we have
That was an
small bottle
abnormal
of it
amount
here.
of ding dong sauce.
Now, what
man.
this is primarily a
Oh, I love. Strange. I like. I was hoping that he would say, "Oh, this seems familiar."
The main component of this is glutamate, which is the same as the G in MSG.
Oh,
And last but not least, we have this.
Someone
which is
call Uncle
caramel
Roger.
color. Now, caramel color is worth pointing out because one of the byproducts it can contain is on the state of California's list of chemicals
Carcinogen.
known to cause cancer. What we don't know is if
Told ya.
McDonald's uses the specific type of caramel color that contains that byproduct.
That chemical that is on California's list of cancer-causing chemicals. Just pick a different color.
Or don't use it.
And with that, we have our Big Mac sauce. The color looks pretty good, the consistency is pretty good. It was very hard work trying to emulsify that by hand, but honestly, not too disappointed with the result.
Wow, that looks like Big Mac sauce, I have to say. I'm very surprised by that. That actually looks just like the sauce.
Okay, here we go. The meat and potatoes.
100% beef patty. It is prepared with grill seasoning, which is salt and black pepper. Harry, get a spatula, man. You knew you were gonna do this. Why are you using a spoon?
Is he gonna assemble it after?
Remember on the podcast
Wait a second.
when
They're gonna skip over what the patty's made of?
beef.
McDonald's patty is 100% beef.
I mean, no, there's definitely some there, but
The only things we've added are some freshly diced onion and some shredded lettuce. These thankfully are just made of onion and lettuce. There's no additional chemicals.
Does Mickey rehydrate dry onions or do they reuse real onions?
I think they use real onions.
So there you have it. Can you tell which one is ours?
1 month of research, 5 hours of work, $100 of ingredients.
You should have made more than one.
Visually, Harry, I'll give you a 6. If I got a Big Mac at McDonald's and that's what was in the box, I'd be like, what the hell's going on back there? But it looks a lot closer than I thought it was gonna be. The fact that that bread and that sauce and that cheese looks the way it did.
My God, you know how close we could get it to look and be natural?
Mhm.
That should be a pet project.
Well, I mean, what's his name? Cowboy Kent?
Yes,
That's
but-
what he made a cowboy version of it. You know who made a version of this burger?
Gordon.
No, Joshua Wiseman.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Does it look good?
It looks great.
The last thing to do is taste our burger to see how it stacks up against an actual Big Mac.
I would not be eating that one. Those chemicals
I
are.
think the bun is good. It's a great homemade bread. I don't think I've ever made bread this good at home without those chemicals. However, it doesn't quite have that real soft pillowiness that the McDonald's one does.
It's the gluten. He did not develop the gluten enough when he was kneading the dough on the table. But I don't blame him for that because he's not a chef. I don't think he would understand that
But
concept.
isn't it weird at the visual? You want to eat that. I want to eat that.
Yeah.
But like, at least I'm conscious enough to know that like I feel terrible
Right.
after I eat.
Right.
I can't. It's not worth it anymore.
And I think I actually almost prefer the cheese that we've made. I don't know if that's because we used better cheddar, but I actually
No,
like
that's
our cheese. We've got a
100%
nice
why.
thick slice, kind of holds up and also has a good flavor. I think the sauce on ours is not quite as good as the original Big Mac sauce. While we followed the ingredients list as exactly as we could, there are still some herbs and spices which they keep as
Herbs.
a closely guarded secret.
Herbs and vitamins.
Well,
Okay, listen. This wasn't as painful as other made me watch. But
because after all this burger video, I need a French onion soup burger. Before we close out this episode, I do want to say to all of my amazing patrons, thank you so much for your support. I really couldn't do this without your help. And for the rest of you, please consider becoming a patron by visiting the link in the description below. By becoming a patron, you get to take advantage of some awesome perks like early access to new episodes and patron exclusive content. So we're going to go get one of those. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video as much as we did making it. And remember, it always gets better. And with that said, I'm Chef Brian Tsao, not your typical chef. And we'll see you really soon. Bye.